with QuickBooks. Most of the participants are Volusion merchants, so I would be focusing more on Volusion and how you integrate your Volusion store with QuickBooks using T-Hub. Now, I would let you all know that the webinar is being recorded, and we would host the webinar on the website after it's done, and maybe in a couple of days. Just wanted to let that be known to all the participants. I think most of the folks are in, so without further ado, I know your time is valuable. So I will keep this short and brief and to the point, and hopefully useful for most of the participants. So to get started, I will use a simple PowerPoint. I promise not to bore you to death by PowerPoint, and then I'll show you around how to actually use the application with specific points in mind. So let's get started. I'm sure you probably had a great holiday season with lots of orders to fulfill, and that also raises some challenges that comes to the forefront, which this is probably a good time to focus and see how they can be addressed. So just to list some of the challenges that you might be facing: manually entering shipping addresses for printing of shipping labels, that can become a challenge. If you use QuickBooks, to have QuickBooks automated, integrated with your website, and not have to manually enter the online transactions into QuickBooks. Customers call in for order status. It's nice to have a system where they get notified of their tracking right away without you having to do any additional work. If you sell products that cannot be easily procured and you don't want to have back orders, it's nice to have your actual product inventory stock be updated on the website, your current availability, assuming you are managing your inventory in QuickBooks. If your website, shipping, and QuickBooks are all kind of not integrated well, your order processing will take a long time, and there will be scope for errors, and customer service will suffer. Let's see how T-Hub, in this case, handles some of these challenges. So T-Hub is a software that you install on your local computer along with your QuickBooks and shipping services. So T-Hub is an order manager that sits right in the middle of your e-commerce. Volusion, in this case, it also supports multiple channels. If you're selling on Amazon, eBay, for example, you can manage all the channels from the same interface. So T-Hub brings sales from different channels, sends all the customer sales into QuickBooks. Now T-Hub works with QuickBooks Financial, the accounting package, as well as the QuickBooks point of sale that some brick and mortar retailers might be using. So these online sales from the website flows through into QuickBooks. The orders are then sent to shipping software to help print shipping labels, and the tracking number is automatically sent back to the website, and the customer is notified by Volusion in this case. So in this presentation, I'll just go over some of the main points from an integration point of view between website and QuickBooks and shipping. Points to consider would be how you set up products and accounts in QuickBooks. How do you manage customers in QuickBooks, given that the QuickBooks customer list is limited? If you sell on Amazon or Amazon, eBay, or multiple websites, how do you set that up in QuickBooks so you can have better reporting across channels? How do you manage inventory from between QuickBooks and the website? And of course, the shipping order fulfillment part with UPS and US Postal. And how do you automate all this so you have minimal user intervention as much as possible? So let's get started with those points. In our experience, the biggest challenge in terms of integrating website and QuickBooks is with respect to products. If you solve this problem cleanly, then the integration becomes that much easier and cleaner. And it's very simple to keep in mind to integrate the two. If you're starting off and you're setting up your books, it's much easier. You can set up products in your QuickBooks with the code that you already have on the website. If you already have products set up on the website and you have QuickBooks already set up, then the product codes may not match up, and it might throw in some challenges. So just to reiterate, the screen on top you see is the product screen from Volusion, and the field that is used to match up products is the code field, the product code field. So that field needs to match the item name in your QuickBooks item list. This is the match that T-Hub does to figure out which product was sold, and also to be able to update inventory if you want to. So just to reiterate again, the code on the product code on Volusion should match the item name / number in your point of sale. If that does not match, T-Hub does allow you to do a map. So you can say product code ABC on Volusion matches with item name 123 in QuickBooks if those two do not match. But of course, it is recommended, and it's much easier if the two are exactly the same. When you set up products in QuickBooks, you assign an income account to the product, and you can set up different income accounts for different products if you want to group them under different categories. Products in QuickBooks can be of type inventory, non-inventory, or service. You set up inventory type account only if you want to track physical count of the products in QuickBooks. Otherwise, you can set them as non-inventory or service. You also set them as non-inventory in the case, let's say you want to update inventory from QuickBooks to website, and for certain products you probably drop ship from a vendor and you don't want to manage inventory. In that case, you can set it up as a non-inventory item, in which case T-Hub will update a high quantity of the product on the website, so you never run out of stock for those items. You should create an item in QuickBooks to record shipping charges with a different item name. Typically, you would call it as shipping. Moving on to the customer part in QuickBooks, the only thing to keep in mind is you should record customers, individual customers in QuickBooks only if you're going to use that customer list from QuickBooks for marketing or retargeting those customers. If you have no need for that customer information in QuickBooks for any marketing related purposes, there is no need to have those customers in QuickBooks customer list. And the reason I say that is because in QuickBooks there is a limit on the number of customers and items you can have. So you can quickly run out of that list count if you create individual customers in QuickBooks. Now, you can create one customer in QuickBooks, let's say online sales, and have all the online sales recorded against that one customer. So your customer list in QuickBooks does not grow, but you still record all the online transactions in QuickBooks as, let's say, sales receipts. And on the sales receipt in QuickBooks, T-Hub will record the bill to and the ship to address. So you still have the customer information on the transaction level in QuickBooks, not just in the customer list. If you sell on multiple channels, the simplest thing you can do in QuickBooks is to assign classes. QuickBooks has a class feature, so you can set up a class called website or whatever you want to call it. And let's say you sell on Amazon, you can have an Amazon class. So in T-Hub, you can assign a class name to all the transactions going into QuickBooks. That way, you can run reports in QuickBooks like profit and loss by channel, by class. So you can know, you can easily find out how much sales are coming from your website, how much is coming from Amazon or another website. So a simple flag to track classes at a transaction level allows you to do powerful reporting from your QuickBooks. For inventory management, it is important to know that there are two kinds of products. Now, some merchants might be selling single individual products, products which is one of a kind, which do not come in different size, color variations. The other type of product is, let's say, a shirt which comes in different size and color. Now, in Volusion, the screen on the right, in Volusion, each size color combination can have its own unique code. And when you set up those products in QuickBooks, you can assign the same item name. So if you look at this example, the black medium shirt has a code 1002M-BLK-MED, and the same code is also there in QuickBooks 1002M-BLK-MED. So if you have the, it's going back to the same principle that the item code in QuickBooks, item name in QuickBooks matches the product code on Volusion. It's just that in this case, for product with variants, each variant should have its own code. That way, T-Hub knows which particular style was sold for recording transaction, and also for updating inventory, you can have 10 of the black in stock and 0 of the red in stock. So to be able to update stock at that level, you need to have individual product options on Volusion and have the same code match up with your QuickBooks. For fulfilling orders or shipping, T-Hub allows you to print labels from with UPS, FedEx, US Postal. You can also ship from within QuickBooks. QuickBooks has a shipping manager, and T-Hub can pull the tracking and update the website back, or you can choose to ship from within your website. So you have different choices. The advantage of shipping from within T-Hub is if you're selling on multiple channels, let's say, it's much easier to manage everything from one place than doing some from your website and others from different software or service. Once you have all this configured, it is good to have some of the functions automated. So T-Hub allows you to automate some basic tasks like bringing on the website, sending them to QuickBooks, updating inventory changes from QuickBooks to website, or updating the tracking from T-Hub to website. So you can enable the different automation functions, and it can run in the background every 15 minutes. Of course, you can of course change the interval that you want the automation to run. Now this was a quick overview. Now I will come back to questions at a later time. I just wanted to show how the product looks and feels like, so you have a better feel for it. And then we will take some questions at the end. So when you open T-Hub, this is the main screen that comes up. Obviously, when you set it up for the first time, there are two connections that you will need to make. One is obviously to your website, so you click on Add a Store and select Amazon or Volusion, whichever is your shopping cart, and set up those parameters. In this case, I have a demo site set up, so I'm just going to connect to that site. So you need some basic parameters to connect to your site, and all this is explained in a user guide when you set it up. So on the main screen, on a daily basis, I'm going to show you how you process orders, and then I'll show you some of the options that you have, so you just know where they are and what are the different options possible. To process orders, you simply go to this process order screen. There is a download link. You can push that to bring all new orders from the website, and you can double click and open the order and see all the details. Or you can simply select one or two orders and push this next icon to post those orders to QuickBooks. Now, it will go through all your preferences and figure out how you wanted those orders to go into QuickBooks. And if everything goes well, the posting status will change to green, which is always a good color to have. And if you double click on that, it will tell you the transaction that was created in QuickBooks. In this case, it's a sales receipt. And if you have your QuickBooks open, you can double click on this reference number, and that will open up the transaction from within your QuickBooks company file. So it recorded the transaction in QuickBooks. It recorded the item sold, and there was a discount. It recorded that. It would record any tax if there was a tax. So you have different options, which I'll come to at a later time. I just wanted to show you how you process the orders. So that is how you send the orders to QuickBooks. Now to ship an order, I just need to change some flag here. Let's say you want to ship that order with UPS. So you simply select that order. You can obviously select one or more, and click this UPS icon. The weight will come from the website. You can obviously change the weight if you want, and you just say get rates. So TIA will grab the rate code from your UPS account for your account in UPS on UPS, and you can select which shipping method you want to use and say generate a label. So that will generate a label, and TIA also has an integrated packing list template which allows you to print the shipping label and the packing list on the same piece of paper with a peel out shipping label. So you can simply peel out the label and stick on the box and put the shipping packing list inside the box. So that's how the UPS works. It's similar for US Postal with Indicia. That one is already shipped, so let's pick another one. I do need to change something. I'm using a test account, so I need to change some tags so it can use test account. So if you want to ship order with US Postal, we work with Indicia or stamps.com. You can select the order and click on Indicia. Again, the weight comes from the website. You can change it and click on Get Rates. There's some problem with that order. Oh, I made the weight to be 0. That's not good. Let's do Get Rates. And let's say I want to ship priority, delivery confirmation, generate label. So generate a US Postal label, and with the same template. So it doesn't matter whether you ship with UPS or US Postal. You can use the same template and print labels with both providers. So that is for the order fulfillment. Now let's quickly go through the inventory part. To update inventory from QuickBooks to website, you go to this screen, and let me just pick up some product that I know exists on the website. Okay. There's a black medium. Let me try to update that one. Okay. So you can select the product and click on Update Product to Website. This is obviously to do a manual update. You obviously don't want to do it on a regular basis, and you would set this through the automator. But I just wanted to show you that you can manage the updates from within the screen. There are different options for update. You can update on-hand quantity from QuickBooks to the website, or you can update the available quantity. You can update only the quantity, or you can also update quantity and price from QuickBooks to website. Um, that completes most of the options. Now for the automator, as I showed you, there is options for updating automating different functions from within T-Hub. So you can have orders automatically downloaded from website to QuickBooks, update inventory changes from QuickBooks to website, and update the tracking from T-Hub to website. And when T-Hub updates tracking to the website, Volusion would send out the email notification to the customers. There are some other screens in T-Hub which might be useful. As I said, as I referred at one point, you can map items between website and QuickBooks. So let's say if the product code on your Volusion site is ABC1234, and in QuickBooks that matches, let's say, this particular product. So you can map different codes from Volusion to different products in your QuickBooks. So now what it's telling T-Hub that if you see a product ABC222 coming from the website, it actually means 10-086X in QuickBooks. So you can define this one time, and T-Hub will remember that going forward, so you don't have to select a matching item all the time. Now, I wanted to go through the different options that you have, how you can control order postings into QuickBooks. All the settings in T-Hub are managed through this one place, Setup Store Preferences. Similarly, all the orders in T-Hub are managed from one place, Process Orders. So let's go back to the Setup Store Preferences. As the name refers, it's Setup Store Preferences. By store here we mean channels. So your Volusion website would be one channel. If you sell on Amazon would be another channel. So that you can select preferences for each channel separately. So for QuickBooks posting, you select whether you want to post as sales receipt or invoice. You can mark the invoices as paid. You can let QuickBooks generate the invoice number or use the website order number in QuickBooks. This is where you select whether you want to create individual customers in QuickBooks or have one standard customer record all the transactions in QuickBooks. At the item level, you can say if if you don't find a matching item in QuickBooks, you can let T-Hub create the product in QuickBooks, or you can have it prompt you so you can select a matching item, or you can have a default catch-all item that you can select to record sales from products that are not yet set up in QuickBooks. You can add you can select an item to record the shipping charges. For taxes, you can set up the option to record tax as a line item or as tax at the bottom of the screen. Now in QuickBooks, you can record tax in two places. The most obvious is here at the bottom where there is a tax drop down. If you use this option, then QuickBooks calculates the tax amount. You don't have control over the tax amount. If I select the 6.5, based on my tax percentages set up in QuickBooks, QuickBooks will calculate the tax amount. Now the other way to record tax, if you have calculated the tax amount on the website and you want to record the exact tax amount in QuickBooks, you can have tax as a line item, and here you can specify the exact tax amount that you want to record. So that is what is reflected in these settings. So you say record sales tax as a line item, or record let QuickBooks calculate the tax amount, just specify what tax name to use. And so you specify a tax name for taxable sales, and you specify a tax name for non-taxable sales. That is orders which did not have any tax amount. You can also assign different tax names by state. So if you have sales from, let's say, California, you can have one tax name. If you have sales from New York, you can have another tax name. So you can set up taxes by state. These are some of the other settings that you can assign. I mentioned about the class, so you can set up a class name here called website. So all orders coming from this website will have this class name assigned. You can select a template that you want to use in QuickBooks. So you can define different templates by store, by different function. Excuse me. And you can select the template here. You select a default discount name that you want THub to use to record discounts. If you're doing printing of invoices from QuickBooks, you can do a print flag, to be printed flag, so it allows you to do batch printing in QuickBooks. And if you want orders to be, by default, the sales are deposited to undeposited funds, you can select a different account to send the deposit to. So that was all the settings related to QuickBooks. Now on the same screen you can set up options for shipping. So you can say I want to ship with UPS Online or FedEx Ship Manager or Endicia or Stamps.com. You set the option to send tracking to website. Tracking can also be sent to QuickBooks. You can set up template for packing list, which I did not show. I will show that in just a minute. And for each shipping carrier, you have the option to select all your defaults. So for example, you can say for UPS Online, you can say your default is UPS Ground. This is your default package type, delivery confirmation default. Obviously, these defaults can be overridden at a transaction level when you actually print the label. And this is where you set up the template. This was the integrated label template that we used. You can use other templates without using the pre-printed stationery. Just wanted to show you the packing list. There are two kinds of packing list. You select one or more orders and you print a packing list. This is by order, so there will be one page per order. And if you notice, there is a bin number which you can assign in QuickBooks as a custom field, and you can have the bin number printed on the packing list, which makes picking products not that much easier. So there's one page per order, and each item has a bin number for picking. There is a packing list summary report, which for a given selected list of orders, you can print a packing list summary report. This shows that for these 3 selected orders, there are 2 items to be picked. So if you want to pick, if you want to group item picking across orders one time, you just want to print a packing list summary report, go around your warehouse, pick up the items that need to go out, and then make packages out of those picked items. So this makes item picking easier because it allows you to summarize all the different items that need to be picked across the different orders that you are fulfilling. So those are the 2 different kinds of packing lists that you can print out, and that pretty much covers all the topics that are there in THub. Now I will open it up for some questions if anybody has, and I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. So you can raise your hand and I can allow you to type in a question. Let's see if somebody has a question. Okay, so somebody has a question. Can you use T-Hub if I have two companies? The answer is yes, you can use T-Hub if you have multiple QuickBooks company files. I'll show you how you do that and also highlight some of the challenges that might exist. So when you connect to your QuickBooks file, by default you set up the QuickBooks company name. Then there is an option to say enable connection to multiple QuickBooks company files, and you set up a default. Then when you go to set up store preferences, now for each store you can set up a different company file name. So you override the company file name at a store level. So this is possible. The only limitation I would like to mention is if you want to update inventory from QuickBooks to the website, then having multiple QuickBooks file can really make it slow, because every time T-Hub has to change company file, it has to sync all the products from one company to the other, and that can really make it slow. So we don't recommend multiple company files if you have need to update stock quantities from different company files to the website. But if you want to bring orders from different websites into different company file, you can do that. Obviously, it is recommended to have the same QuickBooks file with different classes, but if you can't do that, you can have different company files. But orders from one online website will go to one company file. You cannot have a scenario where orders from one website, some of the orders from one website go into company file A and some other goes to company file B. That would not work. The next question is, I currently use Order Cup for shipping. Would that be a problem? Answer to that is no. You enable shipping options in T-Hub only if you want to use print shipping labels from within T-Hub. You can obviously use some other product or service to do the shipping. That's absolutely not a problem. And QuickBooks is designed to connect to multiple applications, and so is Volusion. So I don't see any problem having different applications access your same website and QuickBooks. The next question is regarding product mapping. Can it be done from website to QuickBooks Enterprise, and also vice versa from Enterprise to website? There are two questions there. So QuickBooks, T-Hub does work with QuickBooks Enterprise, so that is a yes. Now regarding product mapping, it can be done from website to QuickBooks and QuickBooks to website. Mapping is just one mapping. So if you say, let's go back to that screen. I guess I did not save that. So let's say ABC123 maps to this product. So if I say this mapping, it means the product code on the website is ABC123 and the item name in QuickBooks is 1004W. So there is only one mapping between website to QuickBooks. It doesn't matter how you refer that from website to QuickBooks or QuickBooks to website. Maybe the question there was for updating inventory from QuickBooks to website. So the answer is yes. So in this case, let's say you have a stock of 5 for this product 1004W in QuickBooks. Now T-Hub can update the stock to 5 of the product ABC123 on the website. I think that was probably the question asked. Let me take the next question. After the tracking is added to Volusion, do you manually have to go in and process complete? I think that's the end of the question. So after the tracking is added to Volusion, do you manually have to go in to process the order? If you're asking about processing credit cards on the website, sending tracking from T-Hub to Volusion does not charge credit cards on Volusion. If that's the question, you would have to go and capture the card on Volusion if you have it set up that way, or you can have the Volusion website set up to capture the charge when the order is submitted, so you don't have to go back and capture. The next question is, if I have 2,000 products for sale on my Volusion site, about how long should it take me to set up T-Hub? Setting up T-Hub doesn't depend on the number of products. So to set up T-Hub and configure to your website in QuickBooks usually takes about an hour's time to install. Now let's say those 2,000 products, most of the products you already have in your QuickBooks. So it would take, to do the update, it might take between 20 to 30 minutes to update all those 2,000 products now for the first time. Now on an ongoing basis, not all of those 2,000 products will change from the last update. So going forward, it will do incremental updates, so that will be much quicker. The next question is, we use Volusion to issue PO numbers for outside vendors. Will that PO number be transferred to QuickBooks for each order? T-Hub does not pull the purchase orders from Volusion to QuickBooks, but if there is a PO number on the order on Volusion, that will be downloaded and sent to QuickBooks invoice purchase order field. There is an update to a question. To update the question above, in Volusion there is options for processing, complete, cancel, etc. After tracking is manually entered without T-Hub, I would manually go into add number and then go into hit complete. So if you are hitting complete manually, I would assume that's the same process with T-Hub. T-Hub is just updating the tracking number and the order as shipped on Volusion. So you would have to go and do the complete step that you are doing now probably. Next question is, do most people use the manufacturer's item number as their product code on T-Hub? Most people use the item name, not the manufacturer part number, and the reason for that is manufacturer part number, it does not work if you have items of type assembly type items. Those manufacturer part numbers cannot be extracted out. So most merchants do just use the item name to match products. If you just have, to complete that response, if you just have inventory type items, you can use the manufacturer part number to match products. And you would set on this screen. So this is the screen where you set up which item in QuickBooks you use to match products on websites. So by default, it's the item name. You can set up to match on the manufacturer part number. That's next question is, on the average, what is the setup time for T-Hub and what is your tech support like? 24-hour, free? As I mentioned, the average setup time, if your website is functioning, it does not have to be live. If your website is functioning and QuickBooks is installed, the average setup time, I would say, is around 45 minutes to an hour to download T-Hub, install, connect to your website, connect to QuickBooks, and do some basic configuration. It takes about 45 minutes to an hour. Tech support is through a support site where you submit port requests through a ticketing system, and that gets assigned to the support team. And if they are able to answer your questions, they would respond to the ticket. Otherwise, they schedule a time to connect to your computer and do a remote meeting to see the problem from your computer if it's a local problem. If it's something related to the website, you can provide your website information in the ticket, and we can recreate it from our end to see what the problem might be on the website end. It's not 24-hour support. It's 9 to 6 Eastern, Monday to Friday, and it is not free. It is 30-day of support is provided with the license. After that, there are annual annual support plans. It is between $200 and $300 for the year, depending on the T-Hub edition. And It's a yearly support, and that gives you all the support for the year, and all the updates for the year is also included with the annual support plan. Those are great questions. I hope there are more. I'd be happy to answer more. Any more questions? There. Do you download this program or disks? It's a downloadable software, so you get an email with a download link and a license code. So it's a downloadable software. You can download and install it. You don't have to wait for the disks. What happens if I get a new computer? Can I re-download? Yes, of course. You can re-download and install it and use your license code to transfer license. This is an active group. I'm glad. More questions? Is it able to be installed on 2 computers? Yes, if you install T-Hub on 2 computers, they need to be on the same local network, and they can be networked with each other. So in other words, the T-Hub user on one computer can share a database with the T-Hub user on the other computer. It does need an additional user license to use T-Hub from multiple computers, and that's $200 one time for the additional user license. Next question, is it Mac compatible? Unfortunately not. T-Hub is not Mac compatible. That being said, many of our customers do use it on a Mac by installing what's called Parallels for Mac, which allows you to install Windows on top of a Mac and install QuickBooks for Windows on that Parallels. So it is not, T-Hub is a Windows software that you can install on Windows running on Parallels for Mac. There are too many words there, but it is possible, but within a Windows shell on a Mac. And a follow-up to that answer, QuickBooks for Mac does not support integration with other applications, which is one of the reasons why most applications do not work with QuickBooks for Mac. The next question is, if I have 6 sizes of the same board shot in a drop-down on Volusion, the same product number for each size, in order to have 6 different product numbers correlating to size, do I need to have 6 separate items on Volusion instead of drop-down? No, on Volusion, you set up the options. On Volusion, you set up the options, and when you click on this Enable Options Inventory Control, it creates all your combinations with color and size combination. So Volusion will create those sub-items, and then you can simply, so when Volusion creates sub-items, it assigns them a unique code. So it will just say 1002M-1, 1002M-2, something like that. You can then override those codes with your own code that you want. So you don't have to sit and create 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 products, sub-products. Volusion will create these sub-products. You just have to update these codes to match which code goes with which combination. Hope I answered that question. The next question is, do you have any promotions running for discounts on T-Hub? We don't, but I'd be happy to set up something for this group, and I would email back with a link to the webinar. As a follow-up to the previous response, discounts on T-Hub, there are some packages that are there on the website which combines the, like for example, there's a T-Hub standard with setup and training and 1 year of support for $550. So there are some packages that includes different option at a discounted price. So that's the standard, but I would be happy to set up some discount for this webinar and send out an email later on. Next question was, please send me any promotions that are available purchase at this time. Yes, I would send out an email to all members in this webinar, as I just said. Any other questions? Any other questions? You're being too nice. You have to give me some hard questions. Great. 2 more questions. On the packing list, on the packing slips with shipping, can you briefly go over it again? You need special form paper. For packing, okay, there are 2 things, packing list and shipping label, the integrated shipping label. For packing list, there is no special paper requirement. Even for shipping label, there is no requirement for special paper. You have the option. So for packing list, you can simply print on A4 size paper. You can customize by having your company logo and name added on, and also a thank you message at the bottom. So you can customize those. And so packing list, there is no special paper requirement. For the shipping label, you can choose to print it on integrated form. And I'll show you an example of that. Integrated label is here. So you can choose to print labels on a special paper. There's a link on the website where you can get that special paper. It's a special format. So it has a peel out sticker. Let me click on that. So this section marked in red, it's actually a peel out sticker. So the label gets printed on that, so you can peel it out and stick on the box. And the packing list is on the rest of the paper. So that is the option to print on that special paper. You can obviously just print the label, 2 labels, 1 label per page or 2 labels per page on simple A4 size paper as well. So you don't have a requirement to have that special paper. Does T-Hub bring in shipping costs from our UPS account to the order? T-Hub does bring in the shipping costs. Forget which one was UPS. Yeah, this one was UPS. So it does bring in the shipping cost right here. It's 11.62, but it does not send the shipping cost to QuickBooks currently. It is just recorded here for your reference. And one thing I forgot to highlight was T-Hub has a gross profit margin estimator. So let me scroll there. So for each order, it calculates a gross profit percent automatically. If you have the items in QuickBooks and you have item cost set up in QuickBooks, THUB calculates the gross profit by taking out the item cost and the shipping cost. So if you go to order detail and gross profit, you see the order total was 2115, and this item was not probably didn't have a cost in QuickBooks, but the shipping cost 11.62, and so it calculates it of 9.88, and it tells you. So on this screen, if you have everything item cost set up and do shipping from THUB, you can quickly see which orders the margin was high or low, and you can quickly analyze why that happened and fix the problems that might have led to that that scenario. Before you showed the packing list and label on one sheet. Yeah, that's the same sheet I just showed from the website. Instead of regenerating the labels, this is one sheet of paper. It's just an image right now. But this is one sheet of paper which has the packing list and the label on one sheet. So this also you can print on regular A4 size paper, and you can take a scissor and cut out that label part and stick it on the box. You don't have a need to print it on that special paper, but if you do, it's easy to peel it out and quickly ship out the box. How about international shipping? Can this be done with THUB? Yes, THUB does do international shipping, and I will show it to you quickly. Let's go to UPS Online, for example. So you have default for domestic shipping and default for international shipping. So you can set up defaults for international shipping, and it will print the customs and the invoice forms for international shipping as well. Similarly, for Indicia, there are defaults for international labels, and you can specify to print customs forms, and you can say the person name who's certifying the customs forms, and you can also assign, you can tell THUB to list all items on order on the customs forms, and also give default item to be displayed on customs forms. So in this case, I'm just saying my default item name is electrical parts and country of origin is US, and I also tell THUB to list all the actual product in the customs forms. There was a typo in the email address, which I noted. Thank you very much. Any other question? A few more minutes, so if you have any other questions. For international shipping, does the program assist in commercial invoices? Yes, with UPS with UPS Online, you can print the invoice from within THUB. So for international, you can say service type worldwide. Purpose. Type. Oh, here it is. Create commercial invoice. So this will print a commercial invoice as well with the label. And that will be printed on a different report. So your label and invoice will be printed on different pages. some more questions? Okay, I think we have covered it all. I hope that was useful and beneficial to some of you. And this is just the start. If you have any questions after this, feel free to reach out to us. You can email to info@atandra.com. I'll put that in the chat as well. So feel free to email or give us a call. I'd be happy to answer more questions if you have. There is a 15-day free trial available from the website. You can feel free to try it out and give us a call if you have any questions or issues. And any comments, suggestions for product improvement, for features you're looking for which you did not see, any other pain points that you have that we have not considered, I'd be glad to hear from you and keep the conversation going. Again, I want to truly thank you for taking the time and hope to talk to you again soon. Thank you all very much, and with this I am going to stop the recording, and I will send out an email with that promotion that was asked for, and also a link to the recording when it's done, so you can review it later if you need to reference it again. Thanks, and have a great day ahead. Talk to you later. Thanks. Bye-bye.